So it's a normal day, just like any other. I'm chilling at home, doing some stupid things, scrolling on social media. I was still addicted, just wasting my time doing nothing. And in this moment, I was already in my downfall. I made a previous video of this on like how lust basically got me to my downfall, which was I was just adding girls on Snapchat. We were talking all this sort of stuff, rubbish, 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 rubbish. Nothing really happened, right, with any of them. But it comes to this special day where my parents, they leave our house. They went somewhere, I think for like a night or 2 nights to I don't know, just somewhere. They weren't at home and I was home alone. And my brain already started making up situations like I'm gonna like lose my virginity, something like this. It's gonna be crazy. So I'm adding these girls on Snapchat, and then I'm just talking to this one girl throughout the day, nothing serious. And I was at that point where I wasn't trying to really make a connection. I was genuinely just texting for logistics, just texting to like. It was literally, look, I was down bad. It was literally just like, you want to hook up something. It was more like you want to link up or some shit like that. And I literally remember this like it was yesterday. I was at the gym, all right, and I was hitting a back workout, I think it was. And there was this cute girl at the gym because I went to this like driving course to get my full license to like speed up the process because you have to wait a year and a half, but you only have to wait a year if you do this course. And I did this course, and there was this girl in that course, and she wasn't very. No, she was hot. She was pretty, right? She wasn't very intellectually smart at that course. So I was like, laughing and shit. But I saw her at this gym, and I was like, do I go talk to her? Do I not? Do I go talk to her? Do I not? And I was like, fuck, I'm not gonna end up talking to her. On my way out of the gym, because I was like briefly texting this girl in the gym on Snapchat. So I leave the gym and I'm like, ah, shit, I didn't talk to her. I see her on the treadmill as I'm walking out. I'm literally standing in the middle of the car park and I open Snapchat and I see this girl reply, I'm down. Bro, my whole fucking world just lights up. I've got this big smile on my face. I'm like, dude, no way. Like, I'm gonna lose my virginity. This was still when I was like, so like down for shit, like later in life, like now I'm like, I don't believe stuff until it like actually happens. So I don't like have fake hype or anything. But this was literally that moment where I was like, bro, this is like unreal. It's gonna happen. I was like so excited, literally fucking down bad. Oh my gosh. But I get home. I literally clean the house. I clean my room. I get it all set up, because it was already starting to get dark. And then I went to pick her up. It was nighttime. I think it was like 9. It must have been like 9 or maybe like 8. I'd say around 9:30. I think. So I'm literally driving to hers. It was like half an hour drive. No cars on the road. Half an hour drive to hers because where I live, the city's so big. It's massive. It's not like a big city, but everything around is massive because I live in Auckland. So it's like to get from one side to the other, it just takes forever. Anyways, so I'm driving to hers. I'm like hyped, but I'm like quite nervous as well. And we planned that we would meet at like coffee place. This was nighttime, so the coffee place wasn't open, but we'd meet there because she didn't want me driving to hers because she was sneaking out of her house. I'll come back to that later. That caused so many problems. Anyway, I drive to hers. I'm like nervous. I've got butterflies in my stomach. I park at this coffee place and I message her I'm here, blah, blah. She comes after some time, I'm literally just sitting, waiting in my car like an actual retard. I should have literally gone out, probably given her a hug. Hi, how are you? Blah, blah. She gets in, bit of talk. We confirm our age, and then And then I literally just do a Yui and start driving back to mine. Now, I would say picking her up, it was a bit of an awkward situation, but I was literally just not over speaking, not too quiet. I was literally just like chill, calm, cool, calm, and collected from the outside. Inside, I was like, "Oh my god, what are you doing? You know, like what the fuck is this? We don't know how to deal with this." And we had like funny conversations. It wasn't anything weird, nothing like fucking too awkward happened on the ride. But we were already leaving, and her mum messaged her, "Where are you?" So at this time, her mum, she already told me, "Oh God, my mum's messaging me where I went." And I was like, "Well, good job on sneaking out. You know, that must have been a shit sneak out if your parents already found out right there and then." And I was like, "We can turn around if you want." She's like, "No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I'll figure it out somehow." So anyway, it's like 25, half an hour drive back to mine. No one nowhere, listening to some beats, driving, blah, 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 chill, relaxed. And it's fine, I'm in like a chill mood on the ride because I know, it's fine, nothing can happen. We start to get closer to my place, and I'm like, fuck. This is when I actually start to get nervous. This is when I start like, bro, there's butterflies in my stomach. I haven't experienced it like this because I was like, dude, when we get to mine, I actually have to like do this. And one side of me was excited, one side of me was nervous, and one side of me was like, what are we doing? Like, I think deep down it was like, what are we doing, bro? Like, so we get to mine, blah blah. I come into my room, blah blah. No one's home. It's chill. I've got a sick room, LED lights, blah blah blah. And she's like, "What? So you do this? You must do this often, eh?" And I'm like, "Nah, it's actually my first time." And she's like, "Oh, you could have told me that you were a virgin." Because she wasn't like turned off or anything. She just said, "Oh, I feel so pressured now. Like I have to do the work," and she's right. Like it does make sense because if you're a virgin, you don't know what the fuck to do. Like it's not you don't know what to do. Once you're in the position, you're fine. But to lead up to the point to escalate all this bullshit, all this rubbish, you're completely confused and everything. And I was like, oh, so we were literally just sitting on my bed, kind of talking. And she's like, do you want to watch something? And me being the fucked up teenager I was, because I was on NoFap for like maybe half a year, I haven't touched porn. I haven't watched that stuff in half a year. And I literally straight up told her, oh, I don't watch porn. That stuff's weird. And she looks at me and she says, no, I meant a movie. My brain was so sexualized that instantly when she said, want to watch something, I thought of porn. But she meant a movie the whole entire time. So, I end up putting a movie. I end up opening the laptop screen. There's like Andrew Tate, like serious staring at me, like with a Bugatti, with this Bugatti next to him. As my home screen. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, oh, Andrew Tate, red flag. And I literally, in my mind, I'm like, shut up, like, you wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. Like, this was, yeah, like, okay. Yeah, it's kind of stupid of what I did, the whole thing, hooking up or trying to, getting her to mind, blah, blah. But she came along. Like, I'm sorry, but it was her decision to join. It was her decision to come all this way, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, oh, Andrew Tate, red flag. I'm like, I found it funny. I was like, bitch, shut up. So anyway, we're lying in bed. We're watching this movie. I still remember, it was Grown Ups 2. It was like on my lap. I'm staring at the movie. She's staring at the movie. And occasionally I like look at her. I'm like, bro, I can escalate or do something or just, like develop it into a kiss or something. Nothing. I think in the back of my head, I was like, you've got all night. You don't have to rush it. But I was like, Looking at her, she's just staring dead at the screen. And I'm like, great. Because this girl put an effort. She like dressed up, put on makeup, put on a bunch of different like fragrances and stuff like that. You know, I could tell she genuinely put in an effort to like be here. So did I. I'm not saying I didn't, but I saw this and I was like, I wasn't even thinking of the movie. I was like, how do I escalate? How do I like make this? We didn't even talk much. It was literally awkward as fuck. And her mum called. So literally, it was like halfway through the movie. Her mum ended up calling her, and she's like, "Oh, can you go out the room for a second? I need to talk to my mom." I'm like, "All right, sweet." I leave. Blah blah. She talks to her mum. I'm in the living room, like, fuck, like, what do I do? You know? And then she comes and tells me, "Oh, do you think you can take me home?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure." My brain was like, "Still, you can do a quickie, dude, right here, right now." Anyways, you know, we get in my car because she said that my mum said if I'm not home, she's gonna call the cops because she lied to her. She told her mum she was at her friend's house, so her mum called her friend's parents, and they said she wasn't there. So it was like they were basically she didn't know she was with the guy. They thought she like snuck out, was doing some stupid shit, which she was. So they were like reasonably, respectfully worried about her. So, you know, I was like, oh yeah, sure, I'll take you home. So another 35-minute drive back to hers. I was nervous because, you know, I was like, fuck, police, you know, shit, this isn't good. Her parents, if they find out this shit, blah, blah, oh my god, I'm gonna kill myself, you know? So this stuff. We're literally in my car and we're driving. She puts her hand next to my mouth and she's like, so what do you think about this experience? You know, like, what would you rate it? You know, like, just imagine I'm an interviewer or something like this. I don't know why. I got so pissed at this girl. I was like, shut the fuck up. I didn't tell that to her, but I was like, what's your goal here? You know, like trying to like beat around the bush. Like, come on, like you can tell I'm a bit disappointed. I think she was as well. I didn't lead. I didn't do shit. I wasn't dominant. I was the scared little pussy. So I was like, you know, I'd say we were laughing and more talking on the way back to hers. But I was like in the car, I was like, bro, why didn't I just like lead? Why didn't I just do this? Why didn't it was all these questions in my mind, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? You know? Why didn't I just escalate? Why didn't I just this? Why didn't I just that? And it's so easy to like to go back on it like, why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do this? Why didn't I do that? When you're not in the situation. I'll talk about that later when you actually like expose yourself into these situations and you start putting yourself into situations that aren't really not comfortable, but they're new to you, and you develop through it. You push yourself through it to like get better and experience this and experience that. So I basically I dropped her home. I didn't drop her home. I dropped her like the same place where I picked her up, and then I'm driving home and I'm all sad and shit. Like, fuck, this is where my emotions were like at an all-time high. I didn't experience any shit. I still didn't have my first kiss, I don't think. Yeah, no, I picked her up and I still didn't have my first kiss, and I was like, fuck, my first time is gonna be first kiss, first fuck. That's crazy. So I didn't have my first kiss, I didn't do my first anything. And you know, I got sad on the way home. I was like listening to like late night sad drive music. I I ended up racing this like boy racer. He had a car. They were going to the city. It was like I think I was like 12 or something. They were going to the city to have a fun time. Guy, girl, three people in the back. Me all alone going home from a failed hookup. I ended up driving faster because I was like probably like emotional and shit. That's another thing. Like I was just like, it's not like I didn't control my emotions. I did, but I was just like sad. I was like, oh, you know, sad time. And then I end up getting home. My bed smelled like her or anything. This is when I was still so like emotional, like not like emotional, but just connected. Like I just, it's basically just a need, like a scarcity mindset. And when I look back on it, and I think, how much I fucked up. Like I didn't escalate here. I didn't do this. I didn't do this. I probably look at it, it's probably better. It's probably better what happened than what happened, because I wouldn't be here saying this story if that didn't happen for what happened. But yeah, it was like, I didn't, it was like, I went to sleep in the morning. I was still sad in the morning, bro. I was still sad. I was like, could have lost my virginity. And then I hit the workout. I went to the gym, hit legs. And still, it was emotional. And nothing actually happened with this girl. Like, and now I realize how bad it hurts guys. It's like because let's be honest, we live in a fucked up world where the dating market is fucked up, both ends, right? I'm not blaming girls. I'm not blaming guys. It's a both way, because guys want a loving wife, who's going to be devoted, loyal to them, and a girl wants a guy who's going to take care of her, love her, and be there for her. Though us guys have realized that girls, they don't wait till marriage. They literally have sex with whoever. So we're taking that, because why should we get married just for sex when, girls give it basically out like it's free, like it's nothing. And then since guys are doing that, girls are like, bro, there's not any good guys out there, because they're all just sleeping around. So it's basically like this two-way thing going at it. Kind of got me off point, but the reason I was saying that is I was just so emotionally attached. Like nothing happened to this girl. And it was genuinely because of a scarcity mindset, of this like needy mindset that I had towards the situation. But I'd say like the moral of the story is genuinely just take action. I love Nike's motto. Nike, the not the fitness, but the sports brand. It literally just says, just do it. If you take that, look, if the one thing you can take from this video is just do it. If you get into any situation in your life and you have that thing in your mind where, okay, I'm just gonna do it, you're gonna actually succeed in life and do far better than the person who overthinks for 3 months and does absolutely nothing with his life. So what me is like, just take action. All right. And it's not going to be an instant thing. All right. You're going to level up through this. You're going to progressively overload. It's going to happen with different girls, with different people, that you're going to start to feel more and more comfortable. Like, okay, this happened with this girl. All right. And then something else where I got my first kiss with my girl. I was not with my girl. First kiss with this girl. I would say I was more confident. I was still pretty nervous. All right, I'll probably make another video about that on my first kiss, because that was fucking awkward. I'll tell you that. But then I got into a relationship. I was already more confident doing this, and now I'd say my confidence is like, it's not perfect, but it's at a more time low. Like I have no problems escalating. I kind of know what I'm doing. And the thing is, you don't actually need to know what you're doing. You just need to know, what do you want? When you know what you want, you follow that and you take the advice, just do it, and you do that to what you actually want. And I'm telling you, your life is genuinely going to change for the better. But like, you're not going to achieve anything in your life. Matter of fact, you won't get any pussy, you won't get anything if you pussy out at every single opportunity, if you take the left turn instead of the right turn. I mean that, instead of like going right and attacking the task, attacking the thing that you're supposed to do. You take the left easy way out. So if you get yourself into a situation like this, or something happens, because I understand that you're nervous. Everyone is nervous from the start, but you can fake it till you make it. Literally, be dominant, have a fun time, and take the motto of don't think. All right, because on a lot of stuff, don't think. Just do your actions. It's that verse from not verse that clip from Top Gun Maverick is when he tells Rooster, "Don't think, just do." Some people need to hear that as don't think, just do, and just do it. Hope I could have showed you in this story my basically awkward situation and something you could have gotten out of it, and something that you can put into your future, like a lesson to get from this and implement it into your life. I'll catch you later, brother. Peace out, G.